When we talk about cultural controversies, it's aspects of culture which we feel are not in line with what is happening today in the world.
Sure.
So for instance, you find people will talk about FGM. FGM, female genital mutilation, is a cultural practice. But at the same time, there are human rights and the right to your bodily integrity, the right to decide whether you want to be part of a culture or not. And yet, the practice says you must, as a girl, you must go through this process. We know it has been banned by the government, but still it's going on because it's a cultural practice. So that's what we call a controversy. On the one side, the culture says this is what you do. On the other side, the laws of the world, which is human rights, says you have a right to choose not to do it. You know, you have a right not to be circumcised. So even for the male circumcision, on the one hand, you have the right, which is defined by culture, that you, to be a woman, you need to be circumcised. And on the other hand, we are saying that it's got health implications because of the manner in which it is done, in terms of the right of a woman to decide what happens to her body. That is a human right. And then also in terms of, you know, your social status. Because if you don't circumcise, that we are told, even if you are 50, 60 years, you will not be respected in society. So it affects your dignity. So our take is that if you have a practice which is of that nature, you need to deal with the people who are the practitioners, the surgeons and all those people. Understand why they are doing it. Get them to understand the implications. They are not working in a vacuum. They're working in a context where there are other rules and there are other laws and there are other things that can protect an individual. So they need to come to an agreement to modify some of these practices, retain what they feel is absolutely necessary.
To modify.
Yes. But they have to do it themselves. It is not us from outside who come and say, oh, your practice is very negative.
Like this and like this.
Or just stop it, because they won't stop it, which you have seen. So we need to be able to tell them that these are the implications of this practice of yours, expose them to new knowledge, that this is the implication. They will see for themselves that some people even die as a result of that. And then you have a dialogue on how this can be changed. So it's a win-win. You reduce on the practice, you make changes, but they don't feel a total loss. Because if there's a total loss, they'll just go to Kenya and do it. They'll just hide and do it at night. And that's not going to be effective. So that's a controversy that we're talking about.
Controversy.
Yes, that's a controversy.